Guys, I want to get loud all of a sudden.
Do it.
Sorry, I'm gonna.
It's you. I knew it was coming.
I'm sorry, guys.
Can't
but I
hold 'em
need
back.
to do that.
It is. You feel like Poseidon chucking that bugger down in the water.
Sucking that bugger. Did you butt out that deer?
I did not butt out that deer, but the next one I get,
Okay.
it's getting its butt out.
Is that little Stevie out here in the back?
Drobop. Bow drop, I'm sorry. Drobop. Hello. Stay tuned. I'll be back after my seizure.
Every little chipmunk that was running around, everything's dead quiet, and I went, like, that just happened. Just happened.
I saw what is in essence a nature-gasm.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the Sonic Campfire with the Rotten River Pursuits podcast.
Yep.
I'm Steve.
I'm Uncle Buck.
I'm Will.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Justin Dean Corgan.
What?
In-house?
Where'd you come from, bud?
Man, I came,
Parts unknown.
yeah, outer space.
Outer space. Before we get into today, well, let me just say, today was awesome. Hanging out with you. We had a great time. Thank you for being here. But let's talk a little bit about Justin and how we know him, because it's a pretty interesting story, right?
It's a story to tell before we start another story.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Let's go down that rabbit hole.
Take it away, Will.
I don't know.
You know,
I
bud.
blacked out. I
Did you
don't
black
remember.
out?
So, the other day, or the other weekend, yeah. Prior to all this weather and inclement,
Which has been terrible.
wettest July in history, probably.
I believe so.
800 inches of rain in 1 month.
Is that true?
Over a foot
I mean, it
was over a foot of
pushing
rain.
It's definitely
in
been
July.
wet.
It's been a lot.
So
of rain.
that's like, what's that in like snow? Like 144?
I've
feet.
heard, well, I don't want to get all
Isn't like a
scientific
foot-
on you, but
Like an inch of.
I think so.
Rain,
Somewhere
inch of rain
between
equals
8
10
to
inches of
14
snow.
inches of snow, depending on humidity,
Density.
Air temperature.
yeah, barometric pressure.
So we're looking at somewhere around 100 feet of snow
Give or take.
in July.
That's a lot of snow. Thank goodness it doesn't snow in July.
Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry. You know, me and science and math. So the other week, I kind of alluded to it in this week's last week's current. I got to chatting with Justin Dean Corgan on the internets, and he's like, "Dude, I'm just like 2 hours away from you, and I'm at a festival, and I don't play on Sunday."
What?
That's right.
So and I'm like, "Yeah, man. Well, I'll come get you." Is that?
I mean, I was at Peach Fest,
Yeah, Peach
and we
Fest.
played early in the day,
Nice.
and then we had the following day off. A couple of the other band members had some sit-ins, so I was up there, and he calls me. Will calls me right away.
It's a pretty groovy scene if you're not familiar
Peach
with the
Fest.
Peach Festival.
Yeah, there's 4 stages. We were at the main stage.
Well, that's bigger than the Chambersburg Peach Fest, I'll tell you that.
It's a big festival. It's a
Jeez.
big one.
Yeah. But I didn't stick around. We turned and burned.
Yeah, he calls and he's like, "Man, you know, do you want me to come jailbreak you?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, right now. You don't want to come, but you don't have to, but you really should."
Don't rush too much. Yeah.
Will was already probably in the truck on his way down.
Yeah,
That's why
and-
Will's an enabler of the biggest proportions.
That's a good way to put it.
When it comes to all things epic in the
Yeah.
outdoors. And once he heard that, I bet you he was already in the truck headed down, Justin.
Oh, I'm sure. And I don't move. I usually don't move too fast on the bus unless I'm going fishing. And so like I was in my bunk just like watching videos or whatever. And then
The YouTubes.
yeah, then I'm like rip the curtain down. I'm running around the bus, packing up my, throwing clothes, and everybody's like, "You going fishing?" And I was like, they're coming to get me, man. those crazy guys on the podcast. And they're like, who are they? And I was like, I don't really know, but they're coming to take me fishing.
They seem like real straight shooters.
They're 2 hours away. I'm packed up, ready to go like in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And
Sitting out the bus stop.
And that's like we've had like zero FaceTime. Like so it's like it's like somewhat of a leap of faith that, everybody's going to be cool, but we have common people.
Yeah.
We're friends with friends and this and that. So,
But you could have legitimately been a stalker.
right.
Like
legitimately.
yeah.
Like
Well,
a base fanatic.
I called my girlfriend and I'm like, yeah, the podcast guys are coming to pick me up, and they're like, who's this guy? I was like, it's Will. He's great. And she's like, so you've met him before? You know him? And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
no, but he has a podcast and
Every week.
he fishes. Right. And she's like, and he's coming 2 hours to pick you up, and you're just gonna get in the car with him and drive to some river. And I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And she's like, babe, I don't understand. Like,
Yeah.
are you
Just go
sure?
with it.
It's on the name of fishing.
And and Martin didn't understand either, right? Like,
You know, he was like, oh, they're gonna take you in the woods, watch you bum. like these guys are crazy. If there's any roadkill, that's what you'll be eating. He started. Bless his heart, He's stuck on merch. I mean, bless his heart, man.
Yeah. He's Glasgow, our great friend from Manchester. We've talked about him a million times, and he and Martin are like best mates, allegedly.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how we.
So tie all that
Tie it
together.
all together.
So Ant is best mates with Martin,
Yes.
and Martin is your
Tour manager.
tour manager for
Yeah.
the Devon Allman project,
Exactly.
right? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So now we close the loop. That's it was kind of funny because Martin's like, it'll be the last time I see you, mate.
Yeah.
All right, peace out. So anyway, I picked you up and we turned and burned. We had some windows that were closing as far as weather goes, and some different situations that were just everything kind of had to line up to make this trip possible. Mm-hmm. And without skipping too far ahead, it all lined up. It all lined up.
Yeah, you could say that.
You covered that pretty well in last week's In the Current, and I think where you left it off was right after.
So we made the choice to jump in the water.
Yeah. And you kind of left off telling the story until right after Justin caught his first fish.
The absolute
My first smallmouth
Your
ever.
first smallmouth.
Which is it's crazy because I've always wanted to catch one.
Yeah.
They're kind of like shrouded in mystery in Missouri,
Really?
The guys that are on them, and there's not many smallmouth guides. Most of the guides are, largemouth guides in the Camdenton or Table Rock area. And I've been on trips where we ran into them, and the guy to the right of me is catching one, and I'm catching largemouth bass. I had one get off on a crankbait the day before we went.
I was like, kind of happy for you, but cursing you at the same time. Like, don't blow this for me.
Yeah.
This is my chance to get you something, really cool, and be make a little bit of history.
But it's totally a dream fish, a total bucket list
That's cool.
species for me,
You're no stranger to fishing, right? You're
No,
to
no,
bass
I-
fishing.
Stranger to the stream.
Well, I was born in Costa Rica. My parents are missionaries, and so I was born there, lived there till I was 8.
Yeah.
And we fished there on there's a lake on a volcano called
I
Lake
like to
Ivanhoe.
call them musicianaries.
Musicianaries. Yeah, they play music too. Yeah, they are.
I see what you did there.
No, but no one laughed.
I giggled a little bit.
That was a good one, Will. That's a lot of brain power.
But they have this species of cichlid there.
Wait,
Those
you fished in the top of a volcano?
No. The volcano is on the lake, and it's a very active volcano. It blows
man.
up the whole town every couple of years,
Dude,
So
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty cool. They actually filmed the movie Congo. If you've ever seen Congo,
Oh, no kidding.
was filmed there.
were they frying cichlids?
It's crazy.
Mine cichlid.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you did there.
Well, you're on it tonight, bud. Yeah.
But those are my first fishing memories. And there's a game fish there called the guapote, and it's a it's a Oscar. It's a wolf cichlid, is what it is.
They're crazy looking.
I caught one of those in Florida.
I don't think that. Well, that might have been Jaguar. Yeah, Jaguar guapote. Yeah. So it's similar, but they're bigger and crazier.
In the UK, they call them jaguar. Jaguar.
Guapote.
Right.
Jaguar.
So those are my first memories of fishing.
But the ones he's talking about, like Costa Rica, guapote.
Yeah, they get up to 15 pounds.
Oh, this one wasn't mine. Mine wasn't anywhere near
They're sick. They're
and
crazy.
they got huge teeth. And they're similar. They fight similar to peacock bass. So yeah, I've been fishing ever since I was a kid. Then we moved. My parents originally from Missouri. Well, my dad's from Missouri, so
get out.
God bless them.
Oh,
right, my dad's from
man.
Baden in St. Louis.
I had to.
Do you want to skip past that, or do you want to touch on that a little
Go
bit?
ahead, guys. Talk all about it, and then I can adjust it in post. But I actually endured the conversation.
Did you?
On the way here, they were all over.
I bet. I mean,
Missouri.
there's not.
They were air high-fiving. It was like
No kidding.
That's no joke.
Yeah,
they were two different vehicles, and they were like,
talking about same places, and
"Oh Lord,
locales. and-
Yeah.
air hugging."
yeah. It's kind of like, did that just happen? And we're in the garage.
But
We're
yeah,
in
best
karate now. Yeah.
So, you grew up fishing, and now he fishes almost everywhere he goes.
How's that work?
Well, basically, if I wake up early, we're on a bus, so we travel through the night.
So you live on the bus, basically.
We live on the bus for the most part.
How
And,
many? How many of you
There's
guys?
12 of us.
Oh my gosh.
On one
13 with the driver on one bus.
Yeah, man.
There's 12 bunks, and it's great. It's it's an amazing group of guys. So if I wake up early, say we get into town, the earlier we get into town, the better for me. So I find out from the driver, hey, when are we getting in? If we're getting in, wake up. I'll do some research, all types of different ways the night before, and kind of plan out my route.
So, like the YouTube, of course, you got Google Maps.
And it's best if I can get on a computer. Google Maps is good, but if you go on Google Earth, you can actually mess with the settings, and you can do like time of year, because they go through like yearly photos. So you can find a photo from the same month that you're in, and you can pick up a lot off Google Earth, as far as water clarity and even vegetation and weed lines and what's accessible.
Oh wow.
And you can zoom right down in. It's insane. It's better than the maps. Yeah, and then and of course I pick up local fishing magazines. I picked up the New England fishing magazine at like a CVS or something.
Sure. In Fisherman's good.
In Fisherman, yeah, I'm subscribed. They're great. But I kind of develop a plan, get on YouTube. I'll find an area, then look on YouTube at that area, and see, kind of develop a plan. But you might get there and it's all thrown out the window.
And the bus driver takes you?
No, the bus driver does not take me. I wish.
Yeah.
No, I usually Uber or I walk if the Uber is not available or if it's close enough.
Some venues are close, yeah. Yep.
Some are right on the water.
Yep.
That's cool.
I've caught fish off stage a couple times.
That's awesome.
Really? Where at?
At Lake of the Ozarks.
Oh.
Don't
At this
do
place
it.
called Larry's on the Lake, I caught like a 3-pound bass right off the stage.
That's
I
right.
took one step off the stage and caught the bass
Wow.
on a crankbait. And I've got buddies, I've got buddies in St. Louis. I got this one friend, Steve Johnston. He's a great fisherman, great guitar player. He caught a bass on stage during the show.
During the show?
During the show.
Oh, man.
That's like
crazy.
Ted Nugent stuff.
Yeah, and the crowd's going wild, and the piano player's playing, and singing, and he thinks they're going nuts for him, and he turns around, and my buddy's got this 4-pound bass, and the crowd's going, yeah, and he's like, what are you doing, man?
That is awesome.
Now, do you mostly do it all like yourself when you do this, like, or do you ever like look for like a local guide, or?
It used to be me and Martin would go a lot, but he's been so busy on this tour we haven't gone. He's my fishing buddy on the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only place I got a guide was in Hawaii, and there's a lake there. They built a freshwater lake on Oahu, and they stocked it with peacock bass. And they had peacock bass, largemouth.
And the peacocks are bigger there, aren't they, than they would be Florida? Or is that? Or am I wrong? I could be wrong.
I don't think so. They get big. I don't know how big they are in Florida. They get big. They get 6-7 pounds.
Similar.
You know, but I don't know what the records are.
I know exactly what that is.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you about that?
Yeah, once or twice. We don't need to get into that this show, though.
But it was awesome. It was great, man. I mean, we were using Alabama rigs and just caught one peacock bass after another
What's
all
an
day.
Alabama rig? For
Like an
people
umbrella.
that don't know about that.
This is an umbrella rig. It's like it looks like a
okay.
school
Like a skirt.
of bait fish.
Oh, gotcha.
The schooling rigs, you know.
we see them. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of guys kind of look down upon them. I don't care.
Catfish and Ryan.
Yeah, there's a lot of
they love
guys,
them.
and they're even like in Missouri, it's illegal to use them with like more than 3 hooks, and in Illinois, I'm not even sure if you can use them at all.
Right.
You know, some people are like, oh, it's cheating. You know, if somebody's catching fish next to me,
Yeah.
and I'm not catching fish, I don't care if they're using a hot dog. I mean, give me that thing. you know?
Yeah.
Tie me one on, and I want to catch fish.
You probably could have used that today.
The hot dog or the Alabama rig?
The Alabama rig.
Both, maybe.
I don't know.
You probably could have used the hot dog today.
Yeah, I probably could have used the hot dog.
And
A hot dog would have been nice
So-
out there.
A little mustard.
So moving forward, we decided to go into the water at the Susquehanna, and I'm literally describing, how we're going to attack this first, island kind of fast water deal, and he catches a fish, with, like behind my back. I'm like, what are you doing? So
It wasn't even 5 minutes in the water.
yeah, and it's like in a place where you don't really catch a lot of fish there, but
There was water, so I thought,
let's start pitching.
and I had a pole. And
Mine as well.
so
What do you
I
got to
figured,
lose?
Yeah,
What were you throwing?
It was a Kitech paddle tail. What are they, a swing impact or whatever? It's
Yeah,
their-
Did Will hook you
4-inch.
up with that?
Yeah.
I would have never guessed.
Yeah. It
Will
worked,
throwing
too.
Kitech.
Yeah.
Those things worked.
Yes, they do.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
They do.
There's some colors that just work there, and boy, do I love that. Anyway, so we just started. From there on, it was like on. So we're like, let's keep moving. The water wasn't as bad as we thought, and or imagined, and we kept going. And
Did you get a chance to like take a second after you caught that and kind of embed that and burn that into your mind forever? Because
Absolutely.
as a bucket list fish, that really.
I fell in love with that fish. I really
Yeah.
did. And just the setting in general and everything. I took a moment to just, take it all in. Because on the way up there too, we're like, he's looking at the water and he's like, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's pretty high, I don't know if I can, I'm recognizing what it looks like. And I'm like this is my life story, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
never going to catch the smallmouth I'm
Right,
after.
the elusive.
And so I got in there and caught one right away, and I'm so amped up now. I'm like,
You got the monkey off your back and.
and we were talking about the floodgates opening once I caught my first smallmouth.
it was a joke. Yeah,
Yeah.
we were literally on the way. Like maybe he's gonna be like, magazines are gonna reach out to him. And
Yeah.
everybody's gonna.
The
Like,
smallmouth king of the Midwest.
so because it's been so long, the tide, whatever, have turned. So what happens? We keep going, right?
We keep moving, across the current, and we just start. I mean, we were tagging one after another at one point. Once we got past kind of the first area into some warmer water with some faster moving current, I mean, I was just casting kind of across the current, up and across. And I mean, we just started slamming. You know, at one point, we were both catching them.
It was more of a upstream kind of pitch, and then we just kind of swim it down to us.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, and then we did. I don't know. We just did it.
It was
Can't say it
awesome.
was every way, but we pretty much.
We were having a good time.
Caught a whack of them.
Yeah.
You caught some with some good size too.
Well, that's the thing that really started to happen that I didn't anticipate, because we were there for, fishing pretty much, trying to get at least an area narrowed down for them. And we were supposed to be here this week today,
Yeah.
Right.
Fishing for
Right.
and the water's completely blown out now. The river's, I don't even know. I've stopped looking at the hydrographs.
Yeah.
It's probably 7 or 8 feet right now.
Yeah, it went down, then back up again.
But so that's what we were scouting for, and we were, I know I was fishing hard, and some of these other guys put in a bunch of time too, to make sure that you got on some fish, but so that's why we were there early, and the magical part of it being, working out like it did, But tell us a little bit about some of the bigger, like from there, that one fish, where you started was probably the best place to start, because you just started climbing like Everest.
Yeah.
The Everest of smallmouth.
Yeah. And well, we started getting some good ones, and they were running down current, peel and drag. And I'm like, all right. It's
getting serious.
This is, yeah, I mean, we're wet wading. I've never wet waded like that before.
Right. A lot of people wet wade for trout.
For
things
trout,
like that.
right, exactly. And kind of slow moving, clear,
But-
knee deep at most.
In the Midwest, big rivers aren't like this
No.
Susquehanna or the Juniata out here. These nice,
Tell us
wide,
all
shallow.
about it.
Yeah,
well,
we
they're,
don't have
They're
that.
deep and with pools, and you would never. I mean, they're like what the Susquehanna is now on a
Yeah, you would
constant
die
basis.
out there.
Really?
Yeah, you wouldn't think twice about getting
No.
into those. The Missouri River, or so.
And we're having a blast, catching nice 2.5, up towards 3 pounders.
2 and 3s all day.
Yeah. And
You can't beat that.
and I'm reeling one in, and I'm reeling a cast in, a cast out, kind of down current, and I'm getting close to what I think's the end of the cast, and all of a sudden, I mean, it sounded like somebody threw a can of beans at me in the water, right by my hip, like I'm talking like 4 feet away. Wow! And it's like, and I'm like, oh, and we're like, what is it? What is it? What is it?
I thought it was a catfish. I mean, or something.
I thought it was a muskie or a
could have been
barracuda or something.
a whale shark.
And this thing comes up jumping out of the water, and it's a huge smallmouth bass. And I'm just like, my mind's just blown. Like, I don't even know what's going on, It's like I'm standing in Jurassic Park out there with the mist on the mountainside.
That is a pretty spot to go fishing.
It's beautiful.
I think there's a video of you on social media right after you caught this fish, that big fish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were basically speechless.
Yeah, I didn't even know what was going on, man. I was like, completely just mind blown with the experience.
That's so cool.
Like you said,
Yeah.
I mean, we said it before, and I'd like to say it again. It's just that doesn't happen in any other way to fish. Like you don't catch any size of fish right off your hip. It's weird.
To be able to feel that way after fishing your entire life and catching fish, what sounds like you fish every day almost, but then
Right.
to be able to have that experience is pretty awesome.
Well, it never gets old. That's
Yeah.
the best thing, It never, especially, moments like that, and to already be. I mean, we were throwing back 3 pounders without taking pictures or nothing, and I was already, on cloud 9.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I was concerned, I was like, this is awesome.
Worth the 2 hours.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't want to brag. This is not a brag. This is a brag. He did throw out. This is one of the best fishing trips of his life.
Really?
Yeah.
No
It
kidding?
was.
Really?
All in all,
Yeah.
all together, it was with the experience, the the place is so beautiful, and it's unlike. I mean, it's so wild. There was just stuff on top of the water, birds, bugs, crawfish. Just, I mean, the place was just crawling with, wild nature. And it looked, the mountainside with the mist, it looked like T-Rex could just rip off the side of it, chasing King Kong or something. It really did. Like, it looked like Jurassic Park. And then to throw, that kind of smallmouth fishing in there, in the mix, I mean, and being out kind of in their house, kind of in their domain.
In their living room.
And, like, hunting them down, like, chasing them in the current. I mean,
That's the best way to describe it. You're literally hunting them, like they are.
You're stalking.
Yeah, because we're throwing at structure. We're finding faster water. We're looking for different things. It's not exactly a science, but if you learn to pick out a couple different obstacles or things like that, you can be successful, very successful doing, that repetitiously. So like you're literally hunting them at that point.
It's my favorite way to fish.
We don't always appreciate what we have in our backyard. Sometimes it takes somebody like Justin to come along to really make us appreciate the gift that we have.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah, right on. Right on.
No, it's inaccurate. I totally appreciate it.
You do? Well, good on you, bud.
Yeah.
So you're here 2 weeks ago, right? Or was it last? Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yes.
You're back. It's crazy that you could be anywhere in the world. You're back within driving distance to us this week, and we were supposed to go back to the river. Obviously, that didn't pan out because of the weather, but we were able to hit up Lake Mead today.
Last time you had Will all to yourself. What do you think of the guys? You're swarmed.
It's kind of
the whole podcast.
Put me on the spot here a little bit.
The whole podcast has turned out on a school day for you.
You know what? I saw that. I'm not gonna lie. I saw that shad on the dock.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's some monster fish in here. And then I loved all you guys, but we were crappie fishing, and I'm kind of like, man, like we need to be after some like big bass, some like, something, some big walleye, like whatever's eating those giant shads is in here eating stuff right now. Well, because I like crappie fishing, but I was never big on.
Oh yeah.
But you guys are great,
We like to wet the whistle.
Yeah, it was a nice warm up.
Yeah. We don't want you to
like to tilt our
blow
whole
out
hand.
your forearms.
I was a
before
little
show or
nervous at
anything.
first, honestly. I was a little nervous because, you guys, this is like bringing me out to your house, and, I don't want to be like embarrassing myself and hook somebody or,
That's why they have me around, Bud. I'll be embarrassing enough for both of us.
No,
But it was great. It was totally different from just two people. Having everybody, it was more of a
lot more energy.
Yeah, it was more of a party. It was like a fishing party out on the water.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's kind of how
cool.
I felt.
Fishing party.
yeah. I would have never thought that.
But because we do it so frequently.
Mm-hmm.
It's But
And I've gone with like maybe 4 people at the most out on a boat. I've never done that many people.
Right.
On a boat, on a lake,
Right on.
So we had 2 boats going today. The guy that owns the cafe at the marina, Chad, was nice enough to let us borrow his pontoon boat today. So there was
the man.
Yeah, that worked out perfect. because-
Lifesaver.
Yeah, there was 4 of you in the pontoon.
I did not see a lightsaber.
It was in the back.
Lifesaver?
Lifesaver.
Lifesaver.
Yeah.
Sorry, Buck.
Or lightsaber.
Lightsaber. He's such a lightsaber. So there's 4 of you in the pontoon, 3 of us in Catfish's boat. Are we still on this lightsaber thing?
Rabbit hole for me.
Hey, you're headed in, bud. So you keep
that's
on going
one.
as long as you need. Yeah, that's one. That's one, Will. Totally lost my train of thought.
So there were 7 of us out there, 3 in one boat,
Go
4
ahead,
on the
Steve.
pontoon.
3 in Catfish's boat, 4 in the loner pontoon boat. and at one point, all 7 of us were catching fish like pretty regularly.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't. It seemed like there was, I don't know, maybe half an hour or so where someone was either catching a perch, a crappie, or a bass.
Right.
Basically, constantly. So it wasn't a slow day by any stretch. And so Ryan, Catfish, and I were out about 6 o'clock this morning doing a little pre-fishing before the rest of the group got here. And
like seven guys and 30 rods.
7 guys, yeah. Easy 30 rods, huh? But we had a good morning catching bass. And you guys show up. Like you said, we targeted crappie for a while. And Ryan caught some tanks, which we'll let him talk about later on. But maybe. But then I don't know if maybe I'm fast forwarding to this part too soon. Where are we on time? No, we're good. It's time to talk about it. We've got to.
It's time to
It's time
to talk about it.
Well,
So
get on with it.
Yeah, out with it, Stevie.
so we go to the point, and we were done
After lunch.
We were done. Yeah. Oh boy, we do have to talk
That
about
was a good
that.
lunch.
That
I
was
was
a good
impressed. I was
Yeah.
thoroughly impressed
At the
with
Marina
lunch.
Cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good lunch.
He makes
Gosh.
a great lunch there.
I don't know how that dude. There's 7 guys roll in there.
Yeah, he pumps it out.
Yeah, 7 guys roll in and order, 43 different things, and a couple minutes later, just all come
At the same time.
At the same time, everything's done.
It was,
I
everything
recommend
was good.
poppers with cheese.
Yes.
Cream cheese or cheddar cheese?
Oh,
With
Alleged-
cheese. There was a
allegedly.
bit of a heated discussion prior to lunch.
It was
regarding
almost
this,
like
right?
a
allegedly
Stromboli
they're
calzone
gonna have cheddar-
conundrum.
They're going to have both, allegedly.
Well, I hope so.
There's almost fisticuffs thrown.
Let's hope.
So after lunch, Stevie,
After a poured down rain while we were eating lunch,
Torrential.
yeah, torrential downpour, it was obviously time to get back out. And like you said, we decided, I think, kind of as a group, we were going to start targeting bass, like really hitting the bass hard. And it started off pretty quick.
Like at the dock.
Yeah.
Like at the dock, we land. While we were waiting for everybody else to get onto the boats, we caught a few, standing on the dock and on top water. And you were, what were you pitching?
It was a shaky head with like a Senko
yeah.
style.
So we started hitting some of the more popular points on the lake, and ended up at this one area where the locals here call the point. And that's where I'd like to pick up the story, because it gets pretty epic.
We got
right about
we
there.
got someone just came in.
Do we
he
have
probably
a new
knows the
arrival?
most about the point.
Yeah, talk about the point, bud.
I can. It's a secret.
All right.
catfish.
It's actually it's a pretty predominant point out on the lake. There's a big, like, multi-million-dollar home there, White House. It's actually the
Nice
guy's summer
place.
home. And sure enough, it has a ledge on it. It drops off the bank to about 4 feet, comes back up to 3, drops to 7, and then it runs out and drops to 12. So, like, on that ledge, the walleyes and stripers run and, chase bait fish. And
Patch.
it seems to be on foul weather days, the point's where to be, or, early morning to evening. A lot of guys fish for, like, walleyes there, so.
So, yeah, we were hoping to hit some walleye bass, largemouth bass. And you had something else in mind, right, Justin?
Well, I don't know if I had it in mind, but I saw these schools of shad busting on top of the water like crazy, way out from the bank, further out than where largemouth would be. So I thought maybe a popper would be good out in those, kind of schools of shad. And I just threw a popper out there, and
We started singing.
you
were
did.
singing?
That's what it was.
What were you singing?
Striper Blitz.
Striper Blitz. Striper Blitz.
People
Is this-
think
No, they really did.
Is that an R2 original?
people think I'm
Yeah.
crazy, but when you start singing, it works.
It's a play on.
Oh.
Yeah.
It called them in.
Gotcha.
And yeah, I mean,
Sweet.
almost as soon as it hit the water and I made the first 2 pops,
It was. Yeah. I didn't have time to get any kind of camera action or whatever. It was on, and he was getting zizzed.
Oh man, it just took it. It just disappeared. You know, it wasn't like a huge splash. It just kind of came on top of it.
Yeah.
And
you got zizzed, bud.
Man, and I was freaking out. You know,
the Lake Mead ziz.
I don't usually use a spin cast, and I'm trying to figure out which way is tight in the drag.
Right.
And it's pulling so fast I can't figure out. I'm tightening it, I think, but it's not making any difference.
You blacked out.
So I'm like, screw that. I need to fight this fish, you know.
Yeah.
And man, it was a good fight. I couldn't tell what it was because it took me a minute to get it surfaced.
We thought for a second it might be a big walleye.
I saw the fin, the dorsal fin, come up, you know, from a distance, and it looked like
a king walleye.
Yeah, like a giant one, you know.
That's what it looked like from the other boat. From the distance of 50 yards away, it looked.
And the cool part, so like, what happens when stuff like this goes down? All hands on deck.
2 decks.
Yeah.
We had to bring
other
in that.
guys, pull up anchor and fly over to us
and start casting right where he caught it.
Throwing nets at
and
you.
they throw the net at us.
Throw the net quick and start casting.
So,
well, those you guys know for sure that. I mean, without the net, they're notorious for popping hooks at the catch point.
We know that firsthand.
Yeah, we do.
And Justin's right. They don't hit like a largemouth. They actually come up and roll on their bait. They actually use their body weight to when they hit topwater, they roll on top of it as they smash it. So when it's a different feeling and a different look. But boy, when they take off, it's that your mindset goes, that's not no bass. Like you don't know what it is, but it ain't no bass. Yeah. It sure looked like it was fighting you from our boat. That's for sure.
It was awesome. It was putting
good, man.
Do you catch many stripers typically when you're fishing?
You know, there's a lake in Illinois. You know, I have before, but typically no. I caught some. We played on the Chattahoochee a couple months ago.
I hear it's hotter than a hoochie coochie.
And it was. It was hotter than a hoochie coochie.
No one really knows how much that water means to you.
You know.
That muddy water.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But no, we played an amphitheater that literally, the Chattahoochee was a stone's throw. I mean, you could have thrown a rock off the back of the stage and hit it, you know.
Yeah.
And I fished there we got in later. We got in at like noon. But I fished there all day before the gig, and then I went out at night and fished after the gig and didn't catch nothing. And there was guys using cut bait and live bait. It was right around the bend it was a big bend in the river, and there were schools of stripers, you know. But I was determined, man. So I got up at 5 the next morning, and got some curly tail, like Mr. Twister style grubs on a little ball jig head, and went out there and caught a bunch of. I ran into a school of them at like 5:30 in the morning. And I had a blast.
That's
but no,
awesome.
I mean, it was maybe 3 or 4 pounders, you know.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, that's what I was hopeful for, because historically, when we catch a striper here, you'd catch 2 or 3 of them, and you don't see them for another couple weeks.
Yeah.
You know, they run in little schools. Yep.
I had another one hit the popper right after I caught that one.
They were all balled up together.
It got off.
So you actually sight fished them then? You saw them come up to the surface, and that's the best way here to actually get into them is seeing them break the water and then hurry up and get bait into their strike zone. Yep.
That's what we do back home. We keep one rig that just has a little white, like a -1 type, you know, crankbait, and you'll see them in schools feeding.
Yep.
And you just got to stop what you're doing. If you can hit that school, everybody on the boat can hook into one.
Yeah.
But you know, guys chase them. We just really fish for largemouth and then hope that we run into a school of them.
I'm glad you got one. I mean, this lake's pretty magical. It's a blessing to us. However, you know, it's not an everyday occurrence that we run into the stripers. So I'm real happy you got into one.
Yeah.
And it's probably your largest?
It is by far.
Yeah.
My largest.
What did we decide that was? We figured it was around 8 pounds.
It was 8 plus.
Yeah, it had to be at least 8.
Looking at the picture now, it was every bit of 8 plus.
Fat.
It's a big boy. But no, it was awesome, and to good things happen to good people, and PA's been pretty good to you, I think. Yeah.
Oh man,
Well,
I gotta hang out with you guys more often.
The star's really in line for this whole trip with Chad letting us buy the boat.
This
borrow
trip
the boat.
too we got a lot of things.
We just randomly happened to be off work.
Well, and we thought today was going to be a complete wash, and
It was supposed to be. Yeah.
we were all freaking out at the beginning of the week, and then we managed to pull through.
The weather was phenomenal. Like, it did rain on us a little bit, but how amazing was it that it rained like that while we ate lunch
At
and then
lunchtime.
quit again?
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of meant to be.
It was perfect.
Because I turned the bilge pump on the boat. I bet you it ran for 5 minutes, and that was just the water during our lunch break.
Yeah.
Getting in the boat. It was. I don't know. This is your first trip to Lake Mead. You gonna come back?
Yeah, I want to come back in May.
Yeah, May's the magic month.
You know, if this is just like another day on the lake, I'm interested to see what
When it's on
days
fire.
like when they're biting.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never had a bad day. Even, fish here in the wintertime through the ice, and it's still
Yeah.
amazing.
We got pretty giddy a few times on the ice. Me and Will were just laying in layout poses, like centerfolds on the ice, going,
Seeing who could look sexy.
look how many crappies we caught.
I don't know if either one of you pulled that
No,
one off
it's
yet,
not
but-
like it's easy for us.
Well, where we had the boat, where we had the boats today out on that rock pile where we had anchored up crappie fishing is typically where we drill the holes in that area for ice fishing. So it's a little bit of a hike to get out there in the wintertime, but it's once you're out there, it's like today. If you find them, you're on them. You can pull them out of the holes pretty easy.
Right.
Yeah.
Just gotta find them.
So tell us more about some different places, maybe some interesting places where you fished, where you've been able to fish because of your job.
I've been all over. Key West is definitely one of the top on my list.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up going to a local bait shop, and these were like the coolest bait shop fishing bum guys I've ever met. As far as usually the bait shop guys don't tell you anything, but they got out a map, because Key West is small, so you can Uber around and walk around it. They got a map and circled all their favorite fishing spots, and showed me a few different saltwater rigs, and so off I went. I ended up going to this state park type area with a big rock pile, and I ran into a school of jack. I saw a giant tarpon. It didn't catch it, but I saw him. It was cool.
That's
I
cool.
mean, I was using shrimp.
Yeah.
And just catching one fish after another, and man, those ocean fish, I mean, they're just crazy. Yeah. You think you got a 5-pound fish, and you pull it up, and it's some a little 12-inch.
Yeah.
You're like, you were doing that?
Yeah.
You? It was you?
Key West, is that down by where
At the
we
pier,
were fishing off the bridges?
Bridges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't we catch a lionfish or something weird?
Sean did.
Some scorpion fish or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. I caught snapper, I caught redfish. You don't never know what you're gonna catch.
Will caught some weird bluefish that looked like a
parrotfish.
right?
Yeah.
That was
They're beautiful. They're beautiful. So that was just cool.
It's like an aquarium.
It's just gonna say it's like fishing in an aquarium.
It basically is one giant aquarium. Yeah.
And we do the South a lot, so I got to do a lot in Florida. We went to a lake near Orlando, caught big largemouth, and Hawaii was definitely another top place.
Did you see any wild hogs while you were there in Hawaii?
No, dude, I didn't hardly see any wild animals on the land.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird, because that's one thing because I love seeing animals in the wild. Another thing that I try to get out in the woods, because the woods are different. Even if you just go 2-3 hours away from where you are, you stop to take a minute and look. The woods are totally different, and I think that's cool. So I went on a lot of hikes. I saw birds, but man, I was expecting it to be like that jungle wildlife
That's
just
how I always
everywhere.
picture it in my head. Sure.
It's not, there's no there's only like 2 or 3 native species. I guess because it's you know, it's an island so isolated from everything.
Sure.
It's a lot of chickens. Like, there's a lot of domestic animals that have escaped into the wild.
There's a special breed of turkey in Guatemala, the ocellated turkey, and they were imported into. That's like the only place other than Guatemala you can hunt them is in Hawaii somewhere, and they're like a weird-looking turkey with a blue head. But people say, guys that go like get special tags to hunt them in Hawaii say the same thing. I mean, I'm sure there's guys that know where they are, but other people that I've talked to say it's hard to see them. It's hard to see, you know, hogs unless you know where you're at or guys have the right properties.
They even have a wild cow.
Really?
A wild bull. It's like one of the, I think it might be the most dangerous land animal in Hawaii. But they're like domesticated bulls that have escaped and started like a herd in the wild.
And they say Hawaii's huge. Like when I picture Hawaii, I picture that tropical jungle, like Predator movie type of stuff too. But to me, it always in my head for some reason feels like you could just walk across Hawaii in an afternoon. But apparently, it's like you can get lost. It's pretty big.
Yeah. Well, there's the different islands too. The one island is huge, Kona, but we were on Oahu, and then there's the 2 other ones are real small. I don't remember. It's Kauai. I don't remember what the other one.
Lanai.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Were the waves big?
Oh yeah, the waves are huge.
You need to go surf fishing there, Stevie.
Yeah,
oh, dude.
I was just thinking
you need like 60-ounce weights.
You know. Well, I went to the 2 top surfing places in the world. I was at the Bonsai Pipeline in Hawaii. And then we flew to Australia, and I was at the Surfers Paradise. And I wanted to go in Australia, man. I just didn't have any time. We played this festival, and we played every night. It was a 5-night festival, and we played every night. I kind of punked out on renting the cars because I was going to rent a car and go on this epic fishing trip, but then we get out there driving, and it's all the opposite side of the road, and I don't understand any of the highway signs. I'm like, dude,
that can be intimidating.
It was.
Especially at night. Oh, that would be crazy, yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm going to get in an accident out here.
Yeah. Do the waves actually, I mean, obviously, they come up, they really do that big curl you've seen?
Oh, yeah. Oh, the ones.
I'd love to see that in real life, how it does that tunnel thing.
The pipeline.
Because here, the only waves I've ever seen here are like, you just kind of like jump, and they pick you up, and they put you back down. They're only like 4 feet high.
It's actually dangerous in Hawaii. There's a lot of, there's signs because the waves break shallow in a lot of the beaches there. And so you have like 6 and 8 foot waves breaking right at shore. And while I was there, some elder gentleman almost died. I mean, he had to be, you know, because you turn your back and you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
And then you just get slammed into
hit by a wall of water.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Ryan found out what that was like this morning. He's not here, so I'll tell you what happened. So we went down this morning in the dark, and we were trying to figure out that pontoon boat, pumping the ball and getting it started. And Ryan walks up to the side of it while I'm on the pontoon boat, and he's got his hands on the rail looking over at the console at me. And when I walked over to the side console, the pontoon boat tilted, and like 50, 60, 100 gallons of water come off the top of it. It rained. It was almost like a wave in Oahu. It just come down. But I'm proud of him. He stared right at me the whole way through it. He never flinched.
He just
looked at disgust on his face. They didn't even start yet, and he was drenched. I had to stop. I had to bawl over and stop laughing. I told him, I'm sorry, buddy, but that's the funniest thing I've seen all week.
That's a Marine for you there.
Never even broke stride. It was good.
Justin, seeing how we helped you cross off one of the big fish that were on your bucket list, what do you see coming down the line as your next big adventure that you want to cross off?
You know, I haven't made a lot of plans. You know, I definitely want to. I have a friend who's a guide in Kentucky, and he's on the big muskies, and that's one. You know, when I get some time off, I'm going to go visit him and try to get at it. But one of the fun things about, you know, I don't look too far ahead and try to plan, you know.
Manchester.
Yeah, I'm going to try to stay with Ant Glasgow, when we go to Europe, I'm gonna get the boss to post date my my flight, so I can stay a couple days with him.
Oh, he'll definitely put you on the pike.
Yeah.
He's like a pike magnet.
Oh, he's the best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
His perch are a little bit bigger than our perch.
Record perch. I had a couple ounces off from the record. Record perch.
I mean,
You get like 6 pounds, don't they?
posted
Something
on
stupid over there.
Dude.
It's a
looks like
famous picture on the internet.
And he was lying. It was a Dutch perch. He was lying. That's the whole thing, is that they can tell. Him and Martin can tell by the by the patterns which area of Europe the fish come from. And I guess in certain areas in Denmark or wherever, I'm not exactly sure. But the perch get bigger than what they do in the UK, and guys will catch them from there and then bring them to the UK and try to say they got this 6-pound perch. And it's a big deal, yeah. And they call them out.
I think we got some of that going on with snakeheads in our area, but that's my
Oh man,
my selfish opinion.
I heard about that. You guys got me scared.
Those things are big
You're gonna
and
eat all my
aggressive.
smallmouth.
They're big.
Not after I just fell in love, my new loves.
Yeah.
Well, that get topwater hit you had to down your
Susky
striper.
smallies.
It's times 10.
Dude.
It's like times 10.
I've seen videos. I've never caught one, but I've seen videos on YouTube. Those things are crazy, man.
Have we talked to Justin at all about taking him for predatory flatheads yet? We haven't invited him to do that
Oh,
yet.
dude, that would be cool.
Yeah, some of that stuff would take some time, but like if you
that's an all-nighter.
If you play in Maryland, we can meet you down there for
It'll
for a
happen.
bunch of stuff.
Or blue cats. We get a
Man,
get the trolling man,
that's
we'll
a
put 'em on a
big
blue
one.
cat.
That's a big thing in Missouri too. I mean, we've had the record a couple times, right there on the Mississippi. And
Yeah, you got some
Missouri.
huge catfish down that way.
Yeah, and I've hooked into some good channel cats, but never, and some good, blue cats, but in the 20s and
Yeah.
upper
No, they're nice
20s,
cats.
but big ones, but never.
We got these weird-looking channel cats here. Ryan's boy caught one. A bunch of us have caught them here, but they're just like the walleye. They're few and far between. But when you get into one, it's, they're
You think they'd be all through here?
yeah, they fight like crazy, but they're not like your typical river channel cat. They have a weird like heavy-duty pit bull-looking bullet head on them.
Yeah, I know
and they're
what you're
kind of
talking
shorter and
about.
fatter, but they're strong. Yeah, they're
Bulbous
strong.
head, yeah.
They're always out by the dam. It's the only place we ever catch them. So they just catch them by accident.
Yeah, that's definitely one. I'd love to get a catfish up, towards the hundreds.
Well,
That
now
would
you
be
have a new
insane.
goal to come do the Grand Slam.
I know.
You had a few of them today.
I know.
What all did you actually hook today?
We had perch. All right. Yeah, I think we all did. Well, I had perch, crappie, largemouth, striped bass. Was there anything else? I didn't catch a bluegill.
No, you needed a bluegill and a walleye and a catfish. Yeah,
I was close.
close.
I could have got the bluegill if I was after it.
If you would have went over and thrown something small onto one of the docks, you would have got
Yeah.
one. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you had a good time today,
Yeah,
boss.
man.
I had fun meeting you and fishing with you.
Likewise, man. I had absolute blast.
So you're gonna return the favor a little bit here tonight.
Oh yeah.
We're going to a show.
Yeah, that's right.
We're gonna see some.
We're doing what?
We're gonna go to the show.
We're going to a show.
We're gonna see some Southern rock royalty.
Get your faces melted
Sweet.
off.
These guys play guitar like nobody's
Oh, it's
business.
crazy.
It's a great band.
I hope we
It
didn't.
really is.
How do you play guitar with bass thumb? Does it hurt you at all?
I don't play guitar. I play bass.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Well, the bass thumb might help.
Spelled
Then.
the same,
Yeah.
so I don't have to worry about it.
He's got a bass thumb too.
Slaps the bass.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Allman. I can't slap the bass tonight. I caught too many bass.
You need a giant bass guitar that looks like a bass. Somebody needs to do
That'd
that
be
for you.
sweet.
I have a strap coming in. I got a kid, talented leather workers, making me a custom strap, and it's a scene of bass chasing bluegill through the reeds. It's
That's
pretty
cool.
That is sick.
It's
I
pretty
said-
cool.
I said, "Oh, that's nice. You should get one of the Susquehanna River."
Yeah.
And Oh, big smallie jumping out.
You know what? I can always get another one. I got multiple bases, you know. So
Yeah. We
he's
talked
already
about that,
started
too.
it, you know. So
I'm so happy Will got to take you to do that because I mean this place is nice for us, but there's something magical, mystical almost about being in the water on the Susquehanna. And it's such a short window for us to be able to do that with the water going up and down. And I'm glad you got to do it because that's a really great thing to.
Last year we got out pretty consistently.
Yeah, the water was low last year, and a lot of another place that we go and the water's real low. It's really cool because you can see the sun come up over the Harrisburg city, but you're out, you can't hear it, so you can see the city, but it's quiet, which gives it kind of a cool atmosphere.
Just wet waiting.
And anybody that we've actually taken to do that has fallen in love with it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hard not to. How couldn't you?
Absolutely. The longer, you know, because I was there kind of in focus mode, trying to catch as many fish as I could, and also trying to stop and take it in, but, you know, mainly trying to catch fish and, like, be in that zone. And then the days following, I really started looking back and looking at all the pictures, and I totally, you know, I fell in love, you know, with it, and it's still setting in, you know, it's, like, so cool.
Yeah. It's scary to take pictures, you know, because you're surrounded on all sides by water.
It's scary to hold the bass out, you know?
Yeah. Anything can happen. The bass could flip. I've lost, last year I lost a honker of a bass trying to get over to where somebody had a camera.
It's probably like 13 pounds or
At
something.
least.
Double digit, small record.
Dislocated my shoulder, dragging it in. And then, you know, and like I said, you know, just taking the picture, there's not too many great cases out there that you know, for picture taking.
Yeah.
So I definitely prefer to take my camera out of the case and then try to take the pictures. And it's just, everything's nerve wracking. You're all hands on deck. You know, and you're tired at the end, right?
Oh yeah.
If you ever do decide to go, listeners decide to go wet wading, definitely try to find somebody who's done it before and go with them. Because learning from trial and error, we've gone through so many different cases till we figured out what doesn't waterlog you down, what you need to take with you, what you don't need to take with you, what to wear and what not to wear, because you can get rocks in your shoes all day and trying to get them out.
Made every mistake, I think.
Or just safety in general, you know, being with people that know what's going on.
Yeah. Because there's holes that you're going to find every time, but there's some holes that
we'll find you.
You find them once and you know exactly where they are.
1 second there's Kyle, next second there's Bubbles.
That happened to me a time or two.
10 yards downriver, here comes Kyle. Grab all my stuff. That's the best place to be, though. That's the secret, is to be slightly downriver from the guy above you, so you can get all his stuff when he drops it.
Like pliers.
Yeah, like pliers.
Did you really find his pliers?
Phil found mine.
Found your pliers?
Yeah.
That's a true story?
That's true.
Kyle was wearing them all day today, weren't you, Kyle?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
That's a one
That's
in a
a
million.
good find.
Yeah, that's like getting hit by lightning. That's tough to do. To walk out and find pliers that somebody dropped in the river, that's tough.
A week before that.
And to
2 weeks,
graciously have someone give them back to you.
Yeah.
I think that's it
crazy.
bigger.
What a sweetheart.
I've caught clams and
He's a saint.
I've caught bicycles.
Bicycle.
I caught a bicycle, like a little
Nice.
child's pink Barbie bicycle. Thought I had a monster. I mean, it was moving. You know, I thought maybe it was a snapping turtle or something.
The Monsters Inc. bike.
Yeah.
Goliath grouper.
Awesome.
No, it's a bike.
Yeah.
All right, Justin. I think it's time to wrap it up.
Is it out of time already?
We're out of time, bud.
Kick this pig.
This day went fast.
Flies, yeah.
Wow.
So, JDC, as we love to call you, Justin Dean Corgan, where can people find you?
You can find me at Bass and Bass Instagram, BASS BASS. And I also have you can find me on my personal Facebook page, Justin Dean Corgan, and I have an artist Facebook page, Justin Dean Corgan.
Right on.
Awesome.
Slapping the bass.
Slap at the base.
Slapping the bass.
Yeah.
And people, there's some videos of you playing with with the Devon Allman Project online too. So if people want to check that out,
and
check out the band.
I have an Instagram, Justin Dean Corgan, also, which is mainly music, music stuff. That was my first one, and then the bass and bass kind of started as a joke with some of the buddies in the band, and now it's kind of taken off.
Yeah,
so.
cool.
Yeah.
So do you love music first or fishing? I don't want to put it on.
I would rather play bass as a profession and fish as a hobby than to fish as a profession and play bass as a hobby.
That's a good answer.
Yeah,
that is a good answer.
Very cool.
I would rather catch the fish of a lifetime than play a bass solo or something, I guess. But music in its entirety is more than just me playing.
Right on.
And I feel the same way about fishing. So
I'm sure it has its own mystical place in your mind when you're playing up there too. No different than standing in that river in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, same thing. Like being in that zone. You always know when you're in it. It's hard to describe, but when you're just in that kind of flow, it's the same way with music, man.
Yeah.
When you're the band's all playing together as one.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and that doesn't always happen, but when it does, it's nice.
Pretty magical.
Yeah.
Cool. I love it. I can't wait to see it tonight. Guys, where can they find us?
They can find us at Rutten River Pursuits Podcast on all the social media outlets, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can also find us on CastBox, Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn.
And CastBox.
I said CastBox.
I know we like to end
We always hit CastBox.
I could not do it, even if you screwed it up.
Check out the YouTube page too.
We're on
Rutten River Pursuits podcast on YouTube.
And don't forget to check out our website as well. We're always updating that.
www.ruttenriverpursuits.com.
And if you're hungry, go check out Moses Family Jerky. mfjerky.com. Use coupon code JERKYPURSUITS15 to save 15%.
The entire website.
You can get a whack of jerky, 15% off.
It even works for coffee.
I'm going to try to talk him into making a smoked striper. Smoked striper flavor.
I'm sure. He's the jerky master.
He can do it.
I don't see why I wouldn't.
All right.
Sounds like a winner. All right.
Thanks, boys.
Later.
Peace.
Later.
Throwing clothes and everybody's like, you going fishing? And I was like, they're coming to get me, man. those crazy guys on the podcast. And they're like, who are they? And I was like, I don't really know, but they're coming to take me fishing.
It seemed like they're straight shooters.
They're 2 hours away. I'm packed up, ready to go like in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, they're gonna take you in the woods, watch your bum. These guys are crazy. If there's any roadkill, that's what you'll be eating. He started. Bless his heart,